Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on Education. I'm Dr. Jamie Savedoff, the Superintendent of Schools, and we're here today with Ms. Karen Warner, my guest, who is the Director of the ETTC, which is the Educational Technology Training Center. So you can begin, Ms. Warner, by telling us, first of all, what is an ETTC?
Well, the ETTC stands for the Educational Technology Training Center, and the state, in its wisdom, realized that it wasn't enough to just give schools money for computers because they found that they were being used as expensive paperweights. So they said, we need to train teachers how to use these machines. And so the ETTCs were born, and there are 21, one in every county in the state. And we're there all year long, during the school day, after school, even on the weekends sometimes, to provide year-round technology staff development.
How many ETTCs are currently operating in the state of New Jersey?
All 21 are operating. This is the fifth year of the ETTCs.
Okay, fifth year. Now, I know from past experience that in a lot of the counties, the vocational schools were selected because of their advanced technology. How is it that East Brunswick Public Schools got to be the designated ETTC site?
Well, that is very easy to answer. The ETTCs were awarded to county by competitive grant, and out of all the grants in the state, the East Brunswick application got the highest score. So not only did we score the highest in our own county, but we scored the highest in the state. And it is also true that predominantly the Voc schools did win, but that was not the case in Middlesex County.
Now, the training is done for teachers, not necessarily just in East Brunswick, but for the entire county, and in many cases we bring people from other counties in. But let's focus on East Brunswick for a moment. Having the ETTC located in East Brunswick is of benefit to us, and in what ways does that help us as a school district?
First of all, teachers really don't like to have to travel far to go to attend workshops and additional classes. So we are right in everybody's own backyard right here in East Brunswick. And it's not a surprise that of all the thousands of teachers who come to our workshops, and that's not an exaggeration, the highest number of teachers is from our own district, from East Brunswick. So teachers can not only come to the workshops, but sometimes they drop by if they need a little extra help, if they want to use a piece of equipment, if they want to test out a piece of software. So we're an ongoing source of staff development for them before, during, and after the workshop. Also, it's a benefit to East Brunswick because we were able to equip a really state-of-the-art training center. So not only do we use it for ETTC workshops, but for example, the district needed a site to hold training for the new IEP package that was purchased for special ed. Came to the ETTC. Jennifer Forbes is going to hold a meeting there for the communication committee. So it's really a great resource for the district, both while we're doing the workshops and as an added technology facility.
And recently, we've used it in other ways as well, because it is very prestigious for us to be showcased as a technology district. And in our recent presentation to Dell Corporation, for instance, we use the ETTC as a focal point in terms of how we're a center of technology training in the state.
That's right. I think it is a source of prestige for the district, and we are recognized in the state and nationally. For example, Microsoft has designated one of their approved education training sites, and they supply us with software to use in the workshops. Many of the software companies have designated us as approved resource centers, and they supply us with software. And it's really a very nice place. When people come there, they like to come.
I think that to the people that are watching, one of the questions they might have is, what's the cost of this to the East Brunswick Public Schools or to the East Brunswick taxpayers? And this is a very good time to answer that question.
Well, I'm really thrilled that you asked that question, because the answer is it so far has not cost a single penny to the East Brunswick School District. The grant was a 3-year grant, and it was with decreased funding. So every year the funding went down, and the idea was to become self-sufficient after the 3rd year. And I'm proud to report that we did achieve that goal.
And so for all 5 years so far, we have operated independently financially without any tax monies going into the operation.
That is correct.
Now, we charge tuition. There's a structure in place.
Yes, yes. We have we have several ways people can pay for these services. First, we offer a membership, and for the past 3 years, we've been charging districts $18 per teacher to become a member district, and that entitles districts to vouchers to workshops. It entitles them to reduced rates on custom workshops and some free events that we hold. If districts are foolish enough not to become members, then they can pay full price for the workshops, and that would be $100 for a full-day workshop and $65 for an after-school workshop, and a whole schedule of fees for custom workshops. And I must add that next year we will be raising those fees slightly. We've been able to hold that fee constant for 3 years, but next year it will increase.
About how many workshops do you think are offered during the year?
Well, I thought you might ask me that, and I did write the answer to that on the yellow piece of paper that's on my desk. But I do, in our most recent brochure, we were offering 140 workshops.
And can you, I know we're going to talk a little bit about something called assistive technology, but give us a thumbnail sketch of some of the courses that I could take or a teacher could take at the ETTC.
We, in addition to winning the grant for the ETTC, we also won the grant for the past 3 years to be one of the assistive technology centers, and this was open only to the ETTCs. And we offer a full range of courses in that area. For example, we just had a weekend workshop called Techno Gifts for the Holidays, and we had Dr. Brian Friedlander. He's a certified psychologist as well as a child study team member and a real expert in assistive technology. And he put together a whole collection of techno gadgets that parents could buy for their students and teachers could use in the classroom that would be of assistance to their students. For example, he showed little digital tape recorders. He showed the Alpha Smart keyboard, which is an inexpensive substitute for a computer, and you can beam information to the computer and to the printer from that. He showed how you could use Palm Pilots for special ed students. And as a matter of fact, as a free gift to anyone who's interested, we have that full handout of all the techno gifts on our website. And anybody who's interested can download that. And if anybody is still holiday shopping, that would be a good place to look for a gift.
They can download it from your site?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll be flashing that, I think, in a few minutes. How many people have you trained in the 5 years? How many people have come through the ETTC?
We have had 8,000 unique participants, but many of those people have come to many workshops, so then it's up to about 12,000.
About 12,000 people. So we
Yes,
should have a lot of well-trained
Absolutely.
technology teachers
Absolutely.
out in the public schools. You started to talk about some of the programs, and I know we're doing New Jersey Elite training, among other things. Can you speak to some of the
Sure.
some of those programs?
Well, our mission, our founding mission, is to enhance the teaching and learning of New Jersey's core content curriculum standards. And I think one of the strengths that our ETTC has that the others don't have is that we have real curriculum experts in East Brunswick, and I can always go to I can go right across the hall now in our new location and speak to an expert in any curriculum area. So most of our workshops deal directly with a content area. One workshop we just had recently was Kid Picks for Elementary World Languages. We had teachers from all over the county, Woodbridge, East Brunswick, of course, South Brunswick, and what we did, we used this simple graphic program and various internet sites as a vehicle for authentic language experiences. And we even had someone there from the high school level, and she said, you might think that it's unusual for me to take this elementary course, but she said, my special ed high school students are responsible for the same foreign language requirement, and I need a vehicle for them to be able to prepare for this. So she was there as well, and we all had a great day. We even had the sister of James McGreevy in that workshop.
Mm-hmm. How about New Jersey Elite? Can you explain the New Jersey Elite? Because that's a very exciting program.
New Jersey received a $5 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the three partners in this grant were NJPSA, NJASA, and the New Jersey Department of Education. And this grant, the ELITE grant, Educational Leadership Initiative in Technology Education, is to train superintendents and principals in how to be a technology leader. Not every district is so fortunate to have a techno-soup like we are in East Brunswick, and people really felt at a loss. It was always felt that teachers were receiving a lot of staff development, but that the administrators were kind of the stepchildren of technology staff development. So the grant that New Jersey submitted was a really bold attempt to train every supervisor, superintendent, principal in New Jersey. And we at the ETTC are one of the sites. I was participating in the design team to design these workshops. There are full-day workshops. There are 7 different workshops that superintendents sign up for. We just, the most recent one we did was called Institute 4. Its more descriptive title is, what is it? The Leader as Planner.
Mm-hmm.
And we covered Excel, we covered Outlook, and we covered PDA, the POMS and the IPACs. And this was a good grounding for anybody who attended to be able to make data-driven decisions and to be able to manage information in the new techno age.
And the concept, of course, is that, and we've seen a great deal of enthusiasm from the leaders that are coming through, that if the community and the teachers in the building see the principal, the superintendent, as people who use technology in a meaningful way as part of their work world,
Absolutely.
That people will emulate that model, and not only will they emulate it and use it in their own classrooms with children, it will help with the whole overall management and operation of the school district.
Absolutely. We had another workshop devoted to technology integration, and the second half of that day was devoted to the principals building their own website, and everybody left the workshop that day with their own site up on the internet. And I know that people from East Brunswick who took it were really excited, and they're going to have their teachers make pages and link to those pages. So I think it really is doing a lot to spread the power of technology.
And that's one of the biggest questions we get in the school system from parents, is how can we access the school district and get information off hours? I'd like to know what's going on in my child's class, or what the homework assignments are, what's upcoming in the schools. So by developing these websites from the district level and then to the building levels, we can give people 24-hour, 7-day a week access to the schools.
We have a technology fellow this year. This was another grant program from the state, Dr. Kathy Grimaldi, and she's on loan to us from Old Bridge. And in her former life, before she came to us this year, she's a high school English teacher. She has her whole curriculum up on the web page, her lesson plans. Teachers, parents can check homework, kids can practice for tests, everything. So students will now have 24/7 access to classwork.
I think that's outstanding. We started to talk about assistive technology, because that's an exciting area also. Can you explain a little bit about how that came about and what the goal is?
Even before the state offered the grant in assistive technology, we felt we wanted to include it in all our workshops, because technology isn't something that's just for the gifted and talented, or it just isn't for our class. It really can and should be a tool for everyone. And I really think that perhaps the segment of the population that is using assistive technology almost benefits the most, because it enables them to do things that they might not be able to do without the technology. I think that's always a critical test in technology. Is it enabling you to do something that you couldn't do without it? Because we put a lot of money into it, and we should have a return on the investment. So, for example, we have one workshop that's called Technology for Inclusion, because now that's the big trend that every child, and it's not only the trend, it's the law, that every child who can be included in the regular classroom setting should be. So what we do in that workshop, we show things that can be done to modify the computer. For example, both the Mac and the PC have built-in accessibility options that many people don't know about, that you can change the key rate, you can If a child has a tendency to drag his or her hand across the keyboard, you can stop the computer from registering inadvertent keystrokes. So just a little thing like that. We demonstrate popular pieces of software, for example, Write Out Loud, a talking word processor, and everybody benefits. It's just like the curb cuts didn't only benefit handicapped people, they benefited everyone. This Write Out Loud is a talking word processor. Anything that the student types on this word processor is spoken out loud. And not only do the assistive technology people like it, but the ESL people, bilingual, special ed. We demonstrate another piece of software, and not only demonstrate, the teachers have hands-on experience with it. Co-Writer, which is a sentence prediction program. It really helps students create sentences with fewer keystrokes. We were very fortunate to also be a site recognized by Inspiration Software, and we teach Inspiration and Kidspiration, and that's graphic organizer software, because many times where the process breaks down is kids just have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas, and they need a little help in organizing them. Mm-hmm. So these two pieces of software do that. And the Kidspiration is the K-4 program of Inspiration, and that program also talks. We have another workshop, a whole series, we call it the Tools Workshop. We have writing tools for students with learning disabilities. We have math tools, we have reading tools, and for that workshop we have Teresa Lupo from the Center for Enabling Technology come down and do those workshops for us, and those have been very, very popular. We have a talking calculator program. We have a program that puts the numbers on the screen in a large format. One of the techno gifts happens to be a talking calculator. So these are things that are not all that expensive, but that can really make a big difference. We have another workshop called IntelliKeys Empowerment. The IntelliKeys keyboard looks like a flat surface with various overlays for different layouts of keys. So if a student really can't master the QWERTY keyboard, this can have an arrangement in alphabetical order and the child just touches it. And you can make layouts that go with various pieces of software. So this is something that teachers have come to the workshop and they say, I've had this, but I haven't known how to use it or what to do with it. Mm-hmm. So they come to us and they leave empowered.
And tremendous opportunities that we haven't had in the past to help all children and all people learn by using that technology. Right. I think it's only going to get better in the future.
Absolutely.
As people find more creative ways, and we see the explosion of technology, for educational purposes. So I mean, it has, boundless opportunities in the future. What new initiatives? You're into technology on a daily basis. Where do you see technology going in the schools and in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, one of the biggest things that is happening is wireless technology, because one of the scarcest things in any district is classroom space. And when you use wireless technology, you don't have to have a room dedicated to a computer lab. You can take this computer lab to any classroom, to any location. And we do have a wireless cart in the ETTC. It's populated by 10 Dell laptops and 10 iBook computers, and we can have workshops with that anywhere. If we needed to go to a site that had no computers, we could just pack up our computers and roll them out and have a lab. So this is one of the big trends. A lot of schools are interested in it, and many districts in our area are going in that direction. Another thing is handheld computing. The Palms, the iPads, the Visors, all these variations, you can hold a computer in the palm of your hand. And Elliot Soloway from the University of Michigan, big leader in this field, said that educators have been saying that there's going to be a big revolution due to technology, and he said, yeah, but people have been saying it for 30 years and it hasn't happened. And he said, why hasn't it happened? He said, because not every student has a computer. So he said that he really feels that handhelds are the answer to this problem. He said kids spend that much on a pair of sneakers, so they can get the handhelds. And We just had a full-day workshop in using the Palm where people got used to the graffiti, writing with a stylus on a palm, not on a wall. And we went to all the, some of the sites on the internet where you can download free educational software. There's one piece of software called Fetch It that a student can take a web page, load it into the Palm, and reference it at home if he or she needs it for a report. There's another program called PicoMap, which is kind of a bare bones version of the inspiration software that we spoke about, so students can make graphic organizers and they can beam it from their Palm Pilot to a printer and print it out. And there's another free piece of software called Cooties, and
I saw that.
And that is a simulation for how viruses spread. So this is out there, and there's more and more stuff happening every day. So I think that that is a big revolution. Also, for administrators, there are many things that are already available on the Palm. So people just have to tap with their stylus instead of writing longhand. So there are many innovations that way. And I would say those are probably two of the major trends.
Well, there's great interest in our ETTC. I mean, we host visitations from other school districts. We'll be hosting a visitation from one of the state's community colleges that wants to take a look at our wireless technology and how we're using that so that they can adapt it to their own classrooms. And so we are a site not only for teaching, but a demonstration site for how the technology can be used for educational purposes.
We had a visit from a team of teachers from Newark, because they wanted to visit a district that really integrates technology. They have separate computer teachers, so it's really separate. And one thing that does impress people about East Brunswick, that if you look on our website and look at the curriculum, you don't see a separate curriculum for technology, because it's really embedded in all the content areas. So they came, Hank Stankiewicz arranged for them to visit some of the schools, and they were really impressed. If you visit the ETTC, and I hope a lot of people will, you'll see artwork displayed in all our corridors and in all our lab that was done by 8th, 9th, and 10th graders. And when you look at it, it's very...
An elementary.
Oh, I didn't mean 8th, 9th, and 10th graders. I meant 8, 9, and 10-year-olds.
Okay.
Thank you for catching me.
Right.
3rd, 4th, and 5th graders under direction of Bob Hust. And this is another example of technology being integrated in the curriculum.
It is magnificent. We need to publish some of that, so everybody who's come to see that has been really truly amazed. How can private and public school employees, because we do accept private and parochial
we have
staff members, how can they get more information about the ETTC?
Well, one source is our website, and you can get to that website either by clicking on the East Brunswick site and then clicking on ETTC, or you can go directly there, www.techtrain.org, and we post our full catalog online. Another way is to use the telephone, and that's 732-613-6607, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or put you on our mailing list. We mail out our full catalog 3 times a year.
Well, my Palm is telling me that we are just about out of time, and I have to move on to my next appointment. So I'm entering the technology world as well. I want to thank you for joining me today and discussing the ETTC, and it's just a tremendous asset, and you and your staff are to be commended for the outstanding training that you've been doing. We thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing all of our East Brunswick community in the new year. Thank you.